In this lesson, we're going to have an introduction to quadratic functions. We're going to take a look at the characteristics of the graphs of quadratic functions, which are parabolas. We're going to look at the parts of the parabola, and then look at the general form of the equation and the vertex form of the equation of a parabola. So first of all, let's look at quadratic functions. A quadratic function is a polynomial function whose greatest exponent is a 2. The general form of a quadratic function is f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are constants, and a is not equal to 0. So these values are constant, and a is not equal to 0. So there will always be an x squared term. So a cannot be a 0. If a were a 0, there would not be an x squared term, and therefore we would have a straight line. The graph of any quadratic function is what is called a parabola, which is a U-shaped graph, and that U-shaped graph can be either a maximum or a minimum style graph. It can go up or it can go down, and we'll take a closer look at those as we move forward. So the direction of a parabola can either be up or it can be down, and that is determined by the value of a. If a is greater than 0, we have an upward shaping graph and we'll have a minimum value. If a is less than 0, we will have a downward shaping graph and a maximum value. So what do we mean by that? So if we have ax squared plus bx plus c, our parabola will look like this on the graph. If we have negative ax squared plus bx plus c, then our graph will look like this. And we will have a highest point on our parabola, and on this one we will have a lowest point on our parabola. So let's take a look at some parts of a parabola. These are some key parts that we're going to learn to identify when we are looking at functions that represent parabolas. So the first one is the vertex of the parabola. That is the extreme point of the parabola. So it is our extreme point on the graph. It will either be our lowest point or our highest point, our lowest or our highest, and that depends on whether it is a max or a min. So we're either going to see it as a maximum or a minimum point, okay? And that depends on whether we are a graph that is going like this. If it is going like this, then it's going to be at our highest point, and if it's a graph that's going like this, it's going to be our lowest point. So that is why it is our extreme point. So the vertex, so in this particular example, is sitting right here. It is our lowest point. It is our minimum point. So that is where the vertex is going to fall. It is our turning point. All right, so it's where it starts to change direction from going down back to up, or from up back to down. So the vertex plays a very important role in the quadratic function. The next part of a parabola that we'll look at is the axis of symmetry. Parabolas are symmetric. If you folded them in half, they would be identical on each side of the line that you folded them in half, and that line is called the axis of symmetry. That line goes right down through the x coordinate of the vertex. So that axis of symmetry is the equation of x of your vertex. So it goes right through the x of the vertex point, and it is parallel to the y-axis. All right, so the axis of symmetry is drawn right down through that vertex point. So it's very important to realize that that's where that line of symmetry is. If it were shifted at all, then it would not be the line of symmetry, because if we folded the parabola in half, then it would be longer or larger on one side than the other. So it needs to go right down through the middle. The next thing we want to think about is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the point at which the parabola might cross the y-axis. So anytime something crosses the y-axis, it is considered the y-intercept. There cannot be more than one y-intercept for the graph of a quadratic function. If there were, the curve would not be a function, as there would be two y values for one x at 0. So the y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. Okay, and it is where x is equal to 0. Okay, so there cannot be more than one. Next, we'll talk about the x-intercepts. In a parabola, we can have several situations. We can either have no x-intercept, we can have one x-intercept, or we can have two x-intercepts. Those are the only three options that we can have. The x-intercept would be the point or points where we cross the x-axis. The x-intercepts are also known as roots or zeros of the function. So you may hear it called roots, you may hear it called zeros, you may hear it called x-intercepts. So you're going to get used to hearing it called several different things when we talk about the intercepts of a function. All right, the number of x-intercepts varies depending on the location of the graph. Okay, so when y is equal to 0, then we can find the values of our x-intercepts. The two forms that we're going to work with when dealing with parabolas are the vertex form and the general form. The general form we've already talked about, and that is f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c when a is not equal to 0. That is our standard general form. The vertex form is just a rearrangement, and that is when we have the vertex of our parabola already displayed in the version of our form of the function. So that's if we have it set up so that we have f of x equals a x minus h squared plus k. And in this form of our function, we can pull our vertex out of the equation because h and k represent the vertex of the equation. And I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute, where a is not equal to 0. So let's take a closer look at each form and see how we can get the key components of the parabola out of each form of the equation. So if we take a close look at vertex form, let's read everything out of that form. So from f of x equal to a x minus h squared plus k, let's see how we can find the direction. So in f of x times a x minus x or h squared, plus k. The direction of our graph is shown from A. A will always tell us what direction our graph is opening. So if A is positive, our graph opens upward. If our A is negative, or less than 0, then we open downward. In the form of the equation that we see here in our vertex form, the value of our vertex is h comma k. So we can read our vertex right out of the equation. We can just pull it right out of the equation right here. Okay? The line of symmetry will also come right out of the equation. So our line of symmetry, when we read here, our line of symmetry is at x equal our h value. So our line of symmetry is at this value right here. We'll find the y-intercept by calculating f of 0. In other words, you'll replace your x with 0 in the function when you're evaluating the function and see what you get, okay? So you replace x with 0. And we'll do some examples and see what that looks like. And last, you can find your x-intercepts by solving f of x equal to 0. So that means replace f of x with 0 and solve. So that means set your function equal to 0. So maybe I'll write it that way instead. That might make a little more sense. Equal to 0 and solve for x. Okay, so that's from vertex form. Let's take a look at the general form, what we need to do. So if we have the general form of the equation, the direction, same. So we'll still look at A. If A is greater than 0, we have a positive parabola, and our parabola will open up. If A is less than 0, we're going to open down. So we're always going to be looking at A, all right? When we have ax squared plus bx plus c, our vertex comes from a different formula because we're going to be using values in a different form. So the x-coordinate of our vertex is negative b over 2a, and then we take that value when we get it and we plug it back in, and we find out what it's going to be for our y. And we find f of negative b over 2a, and that gives us our y value of our vertex. The line of symmetry is going to be our x value of our vertex again. So x is going to equal negative b over 2a. So we've already found that. Our y-intercept is going to be the same thing again. We're going to compute f of 0. And again, our x-intercept is going to be calculate f of x equal to 0. So really the only thing that's going to change is how we find our vertex when we have our general form.